जयपुर वाया कोटा।
कृपया ध्यान आपको अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
Lucknow Junction.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೈ
Hyderabad Superfast Express পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন। कृपया ध्यान दियो।
Cometh the hour, cometh the man. V for victory, V for vintage, V for Virat. The king is back. I can go on and on and on because that's what he's made us do. What a splendid knock by Virat Kohli. 100 after 1-4-3-8 days to get Bangalore to a 8-wicket win and closer to the playoffs. Klaasen did everything he could with that 104. But, well, Faf and Virat were just too good because they were on a mission today, Simon. They were here. They said that we're on a mission. No roller coaster ride. We're on a bullet train. That's what they were on, a bullet train to the playoffs.
Yeah, 100%. Look, vintage Virat, you mentioned it. It was absolutely superb. Right from that first two balls against Bhuvi, through the offside, quality batting throughout. I mean, he and Faf, that partnership, now the most successful partnership at the top of the order in a season. And 172 today. Unbelievable. It really was. I mean, it's good to watch. Faf's been unbelievable to watch throughout this season. Virat just back to some of that best that we've seen from him in years gone by. 600s now in the IPL for him, and man, there was some crazy good shots. None least the one to bring up the 100 was superb.
Well, which is why Virat was our only gel relief and recovery performer of the match for that 100 of 63. A very good strike rate. Lisa, he did everything right because he was playing beautifully off the back foot. He played the spinners well. He played the left armers well. He just did everything from the books.
Yeah, he was just still, wasn't he? You know, just in control. Couple of his shots, you know, head down, extend his hands through. I'm not going to look, oh yeah, okay, now I'll look and see it sail over. I mean, they're the shots that you kind of love. But for me, his ability and his timing to punch the ball, and probably at the start or some of the innings where he hasn't necessarily got going, he's hit fielders a lot, whereas this time he actually was able to find the gaps. And then when he brought up the 100, there's a real bromance with those guys, isn't there? They have this love affair and a great understanding, and Virat certainly performed exceptionally well, and he's peaking at the right time. So is Bangalore.
Yes, but Simon, 100 after 2019, Virat really likes the 18th of May. The last time he got 100 on the 18th of May is when he had those stitches. We spoke about it. So clearly he likes the 18th of May.
Yeah, you brought that up earlier, so must have been something in that moment or that day. RCB have a history of sort of reenacting days, don't they? Poor performances, great performances. They have a history of doing that. Look, it was really good to watch. What I loved about it, you know, I mean, there was plenty of things to love about it, but he was actually very aggressive against the spinners, and that's been his Achilles heel this year, but he was really aggressive against the spinners, and I thought that was a hallmark of today's innings. The way they started, I mean, Faf was quite slow at the start. He didn't get a lot of strike. He was quite slow at the start, and Virat sort of took control inside that power play, and that was one of the keys for him today. He really got off to a flyer, which is something that Faf's probably done more often than not in that combination, but today it was Virat's turn, and yeah, he just never looked back from that time on. They just complement each other. You talk about a bromance, but they know, they run between the wickets so well. Their combination is exceptional. I think what Faf's captaincy has done has helped Virat enormously. I was a big proponent for him giving up the captaincy of RCB, much like I am with Rohit now that he's captain of India, because I just think this is the tournament where he needs to be free and just play.
And enjoy himself.
Yeah, and that now is what we're used to seeing so often from Virat, and it was nice to see it back again.
You know, you spoke about Virat's aggression. Lisa, we spoke a little technical in the green room. Virat just was looking like he had that brute power today, had raw power, those flicks which he plays so beautifully. Yeah. So he played pretty much every shot in the book. His cover drives, which are so beautiful. You saw me screaming and shouting in the room, just looking at how beautiful his shots were.
Is that what it was? Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't believe how beautiful he looks when he gets going.
So again, if you want to go technical, very stable base, you know, to be able to transfer that weight through the shot and those fast hands. You know, you talk about his wrist, like he really snaps across, especially against spin. works with the off spin, goes to the leg side nicely. So when he's picking up the time, he understands the condition of the pitch and he's able to execute those shots. He's in a good frame of mind. So I think he's the type of guy that gives us an early indication, doesn't he? A couple of years ago, he used to get out around the 30s and 40s, look good.
He always looked good, but then he got out in those 30s.
Yeah.
That's what he
did.
did.
But I think, this is exactly what he needs, RCB fans, and obviously the team going forward.
Yeah, well, King Kohli is back. He never went anywhere, but he's just back with a big 100, which is why he is our Omni-Jal relief and recovery performer of the match. He ensured that there was no dard for the fans of RCB. Well, definitely no dard, because all RCB fans, I'm pretty sure, have lost their voices because there was Virat at one end and there was Faf playing not a Faf-like innings because Virat was just putting on this masterclass. He said, I'll take it easy. And he just was the perfect partner, the perfect brother to Virat in today's innings. 71 of 47, a strike rate of 151.
The strike rate's still good.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they ebbed and flowed, didn't they? Virat came out of the blocks quick. Faf kind of played his due. Then he kind of caught up and they were actually quite similar around that 50 mark as well. And then Virat took over and Faf just applauded at the other end. So, he's had an outstanding year. And we highlighted it as well in the mid-innings of a guy who's retired from all other formats. We've seen in the past those type of players not necessarily hold their form over a period of time. I think the game is changing now in the sense that if you do decide to retire, you can actually spend more time if you want to, if you choose to, and he's the right type of guy to put enough time and effort to ensure that he still has a wonderful season like he has had.
Yeah. Simon, they looked so similar, that flick that Virat played so beautifully. There was that one shot that Faf played. I was 1 second, was that Virat? No, but it was Faf. So they just were really going along. The bromance was really evidently seen. Yeah,
it's a combination that works so well. And we've talked about how Faf at times has been all brute power in that power play, and Virat's taken his time and then Virat's taken over. And it's just been a combination this year, I think, that they've been very comfortable with. And Faf, obviously, he knows what he's got at the other end. And if he can just take any of that pressure away, and I think that's some of the thing. When I talked about Virat and the captaincy, it was just every pressure was on him. Indian captaincy, 3 formats, RCB captaincy, and just to see that taken away, and it was never going to go to someone who he wasn't going to respect and have an enormous amount of respect for. So there was probably only 2 or 3 players in world cricket that could have gone to Bangalore and been captain. Yeah. And we talked about it in the auction show and pre-show, and we talked about Faf maybe being one of them. And they ended up buying him for good money. And the case was already there that it had to have his stamp of approval, I think, before they even went for him. So he gives up the captaincy, he gives the stamp of approval, this guy, or this guy. They got Faf. And I don't think they've looked back since. They're just the only thing that's missing. It's 4 games away, isn't it? Or 3 games away for them. But that's the only thing that's missing is in Bangalore's resume. They've had... When we look across, and at least we've been here for many, many years, you look across the teams they've had, the players that have come and gone at that franchise, to not have a title, it's a disservice to that franchise, to that uniform. Yes. It's a disservice, And when you see that sort of performance tonight, you wonder. Bangalore fans will wonder, is this the year? Yeah. Is this the time? Getting dropped. Glenn Phillips doesn't drop catches. I know it went probably 40 metres in the air, but you just don't see that very often, and you start to wonder. Don't wonder too early though, fans. Just let arm say a little.
Stay calm.
But you do. When those things happen, you just wonder whether this might be the year.
But you're talking about Faf's captaincy. He's, I think, got 1,000+ runs as a captain. So clearly he loves the captaincy. And in a recent interview, he spoke about how he has watched Dhoni a lot, and he said, I always watch him from the corner of my eye. I want to learn from him. He's the best to learn from when it comes to captaincy. And Dhoni, he said that what I've learned from Dhoni is that every captain has his way, so don't try and be somebody else, be yourself. And he said that's the biggest lesson he's got from Dhoni. to have a calm head and just think very collectively. So these are the lessons he's learned from Dhoni. Clearly, we can see them in this season.
Yeah, and you look at what Dhoni has done at Chennai and bringing out, and we speak about it every year, don't we? There's always one or two players that goes there and plays well. So he would have learnt and seen even how he even communicates with the group. And, you know, we've spoken about Dhoni's open door policy. I wonder if Faf does something similar. So he's trying to be accessible to everyone. Yes, his captaincy style will be slightly different, but there's probably behaviours behind the scene that we don't get to see, but only the team gets to see. And I reckon that's probably a huge learning that anyone in the presence of Mahendra Singh Dhoni, you try and absolutely take it up as a sponge and learn off.
It's unleashed Maxwell a little bit this year too, hasn't it? That sort of calm nature of what's been there. Once he got 550s, you know, he's now winning games for them on a consistent basis. He's getting them home. He's doing their job. So that also, you know, a calm, clear Glenn Maxwell who's just allowed to do what he does best and feel like he's a big part of a team and a chief contributor. I mean, that bodes well for them too, I think.
A day like this, you know, for Hyderabad fans, do we even want to see the bowling card? But, well, our producer's given us the answer. We have to see the bowling card.
Tough for Bhuvi. Look, I mean, the start was tough for him, and then he ended up, you know, and what happens, it's one of those situations where Virat says, who's their best bowler? You know, and that's that. What they do in American football is a thing called the scrimmage, where they just go best on best, and, you know, and you try and take down the best.
Yeah.
And Virat would have looked at that and he thought, okay, this bloke got 5 for last game. You know,
I'll take him on.
Puff the chest out. I'm going to take him on here. I'm going to show them, because if we keep him quiet, the rest of the team are going, oh dear. And we've talked about how the Hyderabad bowling attack has been this year, and Bhuvi's been the only one that's kind of been there or thereabouts and led them. And all of a sudden, he's under the pump over number 1. And the rest of the guys looking around going, gee, I don't know whether I want to bowl or, you know, and that makes it really tough. So that was really high quality. I think the first 2 balls set the tone.
But that drop catch, like we spoke about earlier, we spoke about in the comm box as well, you can't drop catches in such a high pressure game, and it's a faf to play. We saw what happened, we saw the result.
Right. I mean, there is a saying, and it's a saying for a reason. So one thing that I'd love to see, you know, and as the tournament goes on and you start to get exhausted, right? The better teams, the better players ensure that they're still ticking all the boxes from a preparation point of view. So even from a field, like everyone goes and has a net and bats and bowls, but do you actually spend that extra 5 minutes catching? And not just, I'll just stand near the rope and my coach will just whack it and thank you, I've caught 10 and I move on. Just put yourself under a little bit of pressure, because when it comes to IPL, the bells, the whistles, the sounds, the voices, the noise, the atmosphere, where the competition is at the moment, that's a huge amount of pressure. And the more time the ball is up in the air, the thousands of thoughts go on in your mind. So you've got to kind of know that you've done the preparation to be able to take those tough catches.
You know, I wonder what Klaasen's thinking, because he did everything he could. The first time in the IPL history that there have been hundreds from both the sides. But what more could he have done? You've got to feel bad for him, because he's just outclassed by Faf and Virat. Yeah,
look, it's not the first time it's happened this season. We've seen Venkatesh Iyer. We've had a couple of other hundreds that have been in Nitish Rana's and losing, Yashasvi Jaiswal in losing conditions. So it's tough. I mean, he scored his 100 quicker than, 10, 11 balls quicker than Virat's 100. But it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, when you're chasing, all you have to do is win. And so that's the strike rate comparison. But look, it'll feel good that he's got 100. It's the end of the season. They were no chance of qualifying, but he's been outdone. He's been outdone by another quality innings, and you just got to sort of, I think there was plenty of respect for both, wasn't there, in the end? I think there was some handshakes and high fives. There was a nice moment when Virat just sort of gestured towards the boundary. Did you catch it? Yep, caught it. Thanks very much. Away you go. Those little things are nice moments, and they're easy when you're doing well, but they're still got to be recognised, I think.
All right, all you RCB fans, this is the moment you'll have been waiting for, to see the points table and see RCB go up there. They're at number 4 with 14, and that strike rate just keeps getting better and better.
Yeah, the net run rate is good, isn't it?
Sorry, I meant the net run rate.
I knew that's what you meant. See, I'm in your mind.
You
It's
get
fine.
me.
Yeah, so it's positive. That's good. But now you start to think, okay, so one more win gets Bangalore to 16. And then you've got Mumbai to 16 as well, but their net run rate's down, so...
The one tomorrow night, Rajasthan.
They're the
That's
big
the
ones,
key,
yeah.
isn't it? So you look at their net run rate compared to Bangalore's. That's their goal,
Has
is
to
to get
be
their
done.
net run rate above Bangalore. So that's the one we want to look at right now. That's the sort of the key figure, because if they can get their net run rate above Bangalore with a win tomorrow, a big win over the Punjab Kings, then it comes down to Sunday. Then it's
Which we
down
all
to,
want, right?
Then it's down to Sunday's games. If Mumbai lose, RCB know exactly what they have to do. Mumbai win, they go to 16, and Bangalore know exactly what they have to do. This is what's to come, and it's mouthwatering, really, isn't it? I mean, Chennai against Delhi, you've got the game tomorrow night in Dharamshala on a cracking surface. Kolkata Lucknow. Well, Kolkata can get to 14, but their net run rate's hoovered. It's no good. They'd have to win by 200. It's just,
Well, there are certain people at Cricbuzz who told me I'll still give you the maths. There's still a possibility.
No, we don't want to hear it.
They said there's still a possibility, and Pommy had that laughter that you had.
I know.
So you never know.
It's a 190, 200 score and bowled out for 40, bowled out for 30 type situation. Look, it's okay. I will say it's possible. Is it likely? No.
Yes.
That's the key we have to talk about. So yeah, look, again, you're going to come down to those Sunday games. Mumbai at 3:30 in the afternoon. So heat of Mumbai at Wankhede Stadium. Going to be a cracker up against a Sunrisers side who are going to be on the down, I suppose, after that loss.
Yeah.
And the table toppers, they got nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. The Titans
Except
up
big
against
party
Bangalore.
poopers.
Yeah.
Well, like you
I'd love to
spoke.
knock them out.
Yeah, they
I mean,
would,
I'm
I
sorry.
think they
But
would,
what you want to
actually.
do is you want to knock out dangerous sides.
Yeah.
That's the key. It's not about, look, they would say, we'd love to get rid of Bangalore, but they want to get rid of them because they are a
want to
dangerous
meet
side.
them, yeah.
They're a side that can beat them. They're a side that can beat anybody. So the more competition they get rid of, the better off they feel they'll be.
All right, like you said, a very crucial game tomorrow. Every day seems to be a crucial game, but tomorrow is match number 66 at Dharamshala. Punjab take on Rajasthan. Both these teams coming off losses. Punjab had that surprise win for Delhi the other day, and of course, Rajasthan, they are just going to say what loss. We don't know because they don't want to think about what happened. Certain games like that where you just don't want to think about what's happened. The Rajasthan team has been chilling in Dharamshala. They went in early. They've been having some nice hot tea, putting up Instagram stories of the beautiful city.
Yep.
So they look like they're in a good space, ready for tomorrow. But with Rajasthan, pressure's on because like Simon said, they need to get their net run rate up. Jaiswal, Butler, key to Rajasthan.
Yeah, I think they are. I mean, if they come out of the blocks hard, and statistics will say if those two go well, Rajasthan go well. So they've got a deck up there that I think they'll like, similar to what Delhi kind of experienced. Players that like to be free flowing, pace on the ball, bit of extra bounce, ball flying around. I think that will actually allow Butler probably to. We still haven't seen a big innings from him yet. I'm just trying to see.
Where's he at? 392, an average of 30. Well,
That's not
for most people it's a decent season, but for what we have seen from Butler, and when you look at the top of the leaderboard with Faf and Shubman and Jaiswal all over 500, and then you're sort of late 400s with Surya and with Devon Conway, you think Joss has underperformed.
Well, he got 863 last year. So it just shows you he's fallen a fair bit. So it's now or never really for
Maybe
him.
it's tomorrow, like Mr. Virat Kohli came to the party today.
Yeah.
But do you think we can expect Trent Bolt to be back considering the pitch and the bounce you get at
The way he was bouncing up the stairs to the restaurant on a couple of nights ago when I saw him, I would hope he is back. Look, they've monitored him and they've been careful with him and you have to play these games. You have to play. This is his job now. His job is not playing for New Zealand anymore. His job is playing franchise cricket, and this is his biggest gig. And so if he's 90%, he's got to play, and I know he will. I mean, he wants it. He wants it more than anything. He is one of the keys for them inside that power play. He's been so good over so many years, taking wickets in that first over inside the power play. He's brilliant at it, and they will need him to be at his best. The spinners will play a huge role, but that surface, what we saw with the brand new ball for the first 2-3 overs, think of what Rabada was doing to Prithvi.
Yeah.
So you get through that first 2 or 3 overs, and then you start to prosper. And you saw again what can happen with Riley Rousseau, with Liam Livingstone.
Livingstone, yes.
They can really prosper at the back end of the innings. So you just have to make sure you get through that batting power play, I think. So if if Butler and Jaiswal can do that, set up a little bit of a platform for them, and then the rest of the order, I think they'll be fine. I don't know what they do about their side.
But what happens, the middle order is a concern for Rajasthan, right? The numbers haven't really been very...
Well,
Hetmeyer needs to come to the party, and I think this is the pitch that he might be, that will suit his free-flowing. So Dural has been good.
Yeah.
Like, he's been excellent. He's probably been the find for them this year.
Yeah.
But I don't think they'll change too much. I think Bolt in for Zampa makes sense.
Yeah, Bolt for Zampa on that surface, I think is the key. Hetmeyer's just, look, I'm enormously talented, but he's become one-dimensional. He's become leg side Larry. He's got to remember there's an offside to the ground, because he's so big and powerful. He's such a strong individual. He's got a great base, but he's just become one-dimensional, and everything's got to go. Everything's clear the front leg and hoy it to the leg side. And if he stands still or even gets outside off and looks to go covers, extra cover, he's got one of the most classical left-handers we've ever seen. One of the greatest left-handers outside. Two of them are here coaching, in Lara and Sanga, but Sangakkara was just one of the most beautiful cover drivers of the ball. If he's not looking at him and working with him, and it doesn't have to be along the ground, he can hit it in the air. But I just think he's got to remember there are two sides to a cricket ground. And if he can do that and give himself an opportunity to hit both sides, I just feel like he's going to be a better player, because I think sides have worked him out. Pace off, wide of off stump, and he's still trying to hoy it to leg side, and he's getting out regularly doing that. So,
well, we'll have a look at Punjab's side, and do you think we can expect some changes there, Lisa? What can you do, considering it was just unlucky the last game, because Livingston was very good. We've seen Prabhsin been doing very well as well. So do you think they could change things around?
I don't think they should change, because maybe the only, but I'm just trying to think who they'd bring in. Like, Shah Rukh Khan hasn't done a lot, has he? So, but then there's no one else really from an Indian perspective to come in and play that kind of role. And they weren't that far off, I think. They just need a few more players to kind of go. Liam Livingstone was the lone soldier there, and they just needed someone else to go with him. So they've got to back those guys who have shown us bits and pieces throughout the season, just one more time.
Shikhar's form since the injury has been the concern for them.
He's just not been able to come back into...
Just not quite. Hasn't quite found that form that he showed in the early part of the season. And they looked like they were in a good place, a really good place in the early part of the season. They looked like a good side. They're sort of relaxed and comfortable, but it's kind of sadly the story of Punjab, isn't it? Whether their name is the Kings or the Kings 11 or whatever their name is, and whatever they change it to, it's kind of the story of their seasons. That they look like a good side for half the season and then sort of fall off, much like the runway at Dharamshala, actually. They just sort of fall off the end of the cliff, and it's sort of just down into the abyss there somewhere, and then we'll try again. We'll kick a few of our players out and we'll have another go next year. We'll get a bit of money back into the pot and away we go.
But the other thing as well is, I wonder how, and you were obviously up there the last game, how Shikhar was, because obviously they bowled Harpreet Brar that last over that went.
For the same thing.
So, that type of tactical little error actually plays on a captain's mind for a long period of time.
And there's two things in this, because I think when Sam Curran took over the captaincy, his form dropped
exactly.
as well.
Yeah.
He had a good start. He had a really good start. And he's the most expensive player of the tournament. And he had a good start with the ball. He got a score over 30. He batted okay. But as soon as he took over the captaincy, it was just a bit too much pressure for a young man, I think, in this pressurised cauldron. And so his form dipped, and he hasn't really picked it back up that much. He had a decent game, actually, to be fair to him, yesterday. But, Shikhar's sort of... He admitted afterwards, he said, look, I made a wrong call. I made a mistake bowling Brar in the last over. But, the seamers were going around the park, spinners were going around the park. I think he just made a call, and he stuck by it. He admitted he probably got it wrong, but at the end of the day, it could have happened with a seamer on as well. So I hope he's okay.
Yeah, well, Shikhar's become this new, very calm, spiritual Zen person. So he's spoken about how he doesn't let, victory or defeat kind of affect him. So we'll wait and see if he comes out stronger. Someone who's been extremely strong with her prediction game has been Lisa Sthalekar. So she's also called it. She said Virat Kohli is going to be the man to watch out for yesterday. She's just gotten everything right. She's been on a roll. So, Lisa, and your players to watch out for.
60, she got the...
She got the power play.
I got the...
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Guys, please, enough. Please, stop it. Please, stop. So who's my player? Well, I'm going to go Butler.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think it's about time he turns up. And then for Punjab, I'll let you go first.
Okay, well, you're going to go Butler. I'm going to go Bolt.
Okay. Ooh.
For Rajasthan.
Nice.
I think power play,
yeah.
batting in the power play, bowling in the power play. If they're going to win, I think they need to own those areas. So that would be my player, and I'll start because with Punjab, hasn't had the best of seasons, but I want to see Arshdeep have a game. I want to see him.
Yes.
I want to see him just swinging the ball again, just enjoying his cricket again. I love him as a bowler. I think he's been a great find in the last couple of years, and I want to see him have a game. So I'll go Arshdeep.
I'm going to go Rabada.
All right. I know how Lisa knows all her predictions. So, well, Lisa.
Studies.
Let's see if it's going to be another day tomorrow. Just another day.
No, I think enough's enough. Like I'm crashing and burning.
Oh, she's sick of all the accolades and the adulation.
Sorry, I get very shy.
Oh, she does. I've never known an Australian to get shy.
Hey, pipe down, Chachi.
Sorry. God.
Okay, then I think both of them here knew the answer to the joy factor question of the day. You all both seem like you all were celebrating. This player was the leading wicket taker in a World Cup, and his injury the next year actually ended up helping his franchise name the cricketer.
Stark.
Were you thinking Stark?
Yeah. Was I? Yeah. That's who I was thinking.
Hazelwood?
Is that your final answer? You get one more. You have gone.
Was Hazelwood the leading wicket taker at, what's the name, at the
15 World Cup?
World Cup?
I thought
the T20 World Cup?
I don't know.
Well, we thought it was an Australian, either Stark or Hazelwood.
Super confident with
Yeah,
this.
So got it wrong then, right?
We got it wrong.
Well,
Okay.
can we please have the answer?
Oh. Seriously?
Wow. Well, he was Australian.
He was.
Yeah.
Well, was he?
Dutch Australian.
Yeah.
Well, Dirk
Okay.
Nannes, he
Dirk,
was the
good old
leading.
Dirk.
Oh, they took it away because you all didn't get it right. But
Oh.
I'm sure we've gotten a whole lot of answers, a whole lot of people who've written to us quickly. Surprisingly, actually, every day I get tagged with a lot of correct answers. Today I wasn't. So maybe this was a trick question because a few of them did say Stark. But it probably was a trick one. Let's see who got it correct and who got it the quickest. Okay. Sadinu Kausika. I hope I've got that name correct. Sadinu Kausika.
I'm glad you were pronouncing it.
I hope the name's correct and congratulations. It's a new name, and Joy Bhattacharya only watches this segment because he's always seeing who's coming and answering the questions when he's not on the show. So I'm sure he's taken note of who this is, and he's sending you lots of love. Thank you so much for writing in.
How many notes have you had since being on Cricbuzz?
How many notes have I had?
Yeah, how many notes have you had? Like, people have sort of sent you notes and said, we love you on Cricbuzz, and this is your last day.
This is your last day.
I'm a shy person, people. We are not supposed to get into this. You're just supposed to...
No. Come on, tell us the first year.
Guys,
doing this,
we've
right?
managed this early. It's just 11:30.
No, it's fine. So, first year, come on, tell us. We'd like a little bit of a speech. You're an actress, Just give us a bit of a monologue of your time here on Cricbuzz.
Okay, I mean, this is saying this with a heavy heart because for all those who didn't pick it up, this is my last day here. I go back and I'm getting into filming something else. So I have to say with a very heavy heart, I feel like taking the red chair and going back home and just talking to you all from this red chair and video calling. But it's just been so much fun. Lisa was my opening partner with Joy. That's how I started. And then it was just so much fun every day with Pommy, with Harsha, with you coming in, Michael, Sean, just for me, I said this on my first day, I say it on my last day as well, is as a child or since I've been acting, I've never been like starstruck by actors, but I've always been starstruck by sportsmen because I know they put in blood, sweat, toil, actual blood, actual sweat and toil. So I'm properly starstruck by sportsmen. So when I was sitting around with you all, being with you all on this WhatsApp group, I was just like pinching myself saying, oh my God, is this happening? And then Lisa explaining trigger movement, Michael explaining trigger movements, Michael explained the gill trigger movement. Today you explained
Batting.
No, whose trigger movement were we talking about?
We're doing
Forward.
Well, we're talking about...
Who were we talking about?
Virat's forward trigger movement?
No,
we're talking about
Klaassen.
Klaassen's,
Yeah.
Klaassen's
Yeah.
trigger. So I've just been very, very happy with all these geeky insights that I've gotten. All the laughter that we've had, it's just been so much fun. So to everyone at Cricbuzz, the entire team.
Hey, small speech.
It's not the
come
Oscars.
on,
It's not the
jeez.
Oscars.
Yeah, but you all
What-
didn't
what-
say there was a time.
music,
You all
roll
didn't say
the
there was a time.
What's the Bollywood equivalent of the Oscars?
Yeah.
What do they have?
Supposed to be Filmfare, but that's controversial.
Is
Oh.
it? Okay.
Yeah, Filmfare.
All right.
It's
Do
the
they?
most
I mean,
prestigious.
see, I'd be backstage.
Oh, we don't have a time. We don't have a time.
Oh, obviously.
Cut me off.
Yeah, you all gave it to me. You all asked me to do it. And now Lisa's saying, I want to go sleep. But before I let her sleep, I have to thank everyone at Cricbuzz, everyone supporting me, Mr. Kalol, Shirshendu Roy, Pooja, our producer who always says I'm very good. I love Pooja. Everyone in the graphics team. I can't sit naming everyone because they'll get up and walk out and go. But thank you very much, most importantly, to all of you who watched and liked me on Cricbuzz. Hopefully, I'll get in another chance because you'll like me. We'll wait and watch. But that's about it.
You'll be
Thank
back.
you. Well
You'll be
done.
back. Well done.
Well done.
Been great. Been great.
Guys,
having you.
round of applause.
Great having you. Good luck too. Good luck in Italy.
Cheers. Thank you. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Simon. Simon is off to Dharamshala.
No. I've got the day off tomorrow. I'm here on Saturday for the double header.
Oh.
And then I've got
nice.
Mumbai game 3:30 Sunday. So I will see everyone on Saturday.
And Lisa's in tomorrow.
Tomorrow night.
Then she
Be there or
has
be
a busy
square.
schedule. Yeah. All right. It's been great fun. Lots of ice cream, lots of sea salt chocolate, sea salt ice cream, and of course, cricket. So thank you so much for watching. I won't be there, but there will be my senior, Gaurav Kapoor, coming in. So please tune in and watch everyone on Cricbuzz Live at 7 p.m. tomorrow. Good night and goodbye.
Jaipur via Kota.
कृपया ध्यान आपको अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
Lucknow Junction.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೈ
Hyderabad Superfast Express পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন। कृपया ध्यान दें